Hey guys, so I wanted to get this video up. This makeup look will be up probably next week, but I wanted to talk about this while it was kind of the topic to talk about, right? I think I've said this in a few videos. They might not be up yet, but on my little corner of YouTube land, my goal for this year is to try to feature more Black-owned brands. For instance, I'm wearing a lipstick by Be Elegant Cosmetics. I'm wearing eyeshadow by Juvia's Place, that kind of stuff. Blush, bronzer from Iman, that kind of stuff, okay? So as you saw from the title, Tarte. Tarte, okay? So there has been, or there is currently, an outrage when it comes to Tarte's new Shape Tape foundation. Y'all already know, I've said this before, Shape Tape concealer is my holy grail concealer. I love it. I love it. It can do no wrong in my eyes, okay? A couple things about Tarte. If you've been a makeup lover, makeup buyer, makeup wearer for any amount of time, when you heard that Tarte was releasing a foundation for Shape Tape, me personally, I didn't expect them to do a 40 shader like Fenty did, or do a 30 shader like Huda, however you say her name, did, okay? If you go and look at Tarte's other foundations, I think they launched Rainforest of the Sea a couple, maybe last year or 2 years ago. Their Amazonian clay when they first launched. Legit, Tarte's foundation range has been trash. It's been trash, okay? So while I understand the outrage, while I understand the 3 shades for deeper complexions is ridiculous. Granted, I agree. I do agree. And to everyone that's gonna roast them, kudos. Keep roasting them. They deserve it. But Tarte to me is like IT Cosmetics when it comes to complexion products, okay? Whereas Shape Tape can be in that limited range, because granted, Shape Tape only has about 3 or 4, if that, darker shades, right? I think the shade that I use to highlight with is called Deep, and I believe there's maybe 1 or 2 shades deeper than that. I want to say 1, honestly, but that's neither here nor there. In their concealer range, you can get away with doing a limited range like that with concealers, because most people nowadays are using concealers to do your highlighting, right? That kind of brighter under eye, not so much your kind of spot concealing. At least that's not what I see a lot. A lot of the times, if someone is in need of a lot of spot concealing, they're going to be using a foundation that has a bit more coverage like I do. Okay, so you can get away with that kind of limited range just because you don't have to take into account so many undertones and so many tones or whatnot. It's pretty easy to come out with some concealers that, as long as you cover your yellows, your red, or your yellow and your neutral, you're pretty much good, right? As far as concealers are concerned. When it comes to foundations, it takes a little bit more work. Which is why you see brands coming out with these limited foundation ranges, and not including those of us on the deeper end, because and not to discount, any of my fairer folks and what they go through as far as looking for foundations, especially those who are on the extreme pale side of the spectrum. Granted, this corner of YouTube, my corner of YouTube, I'm a black chick, so I speak to black chick issues that I go through. It's a little bit harder to find foundations, and it's a little bit harder to formulate foundations that are not your typical your brown foundations that have that red undertone to them, or that are too orange, that have more yellows in it. It takes a little bit more time, okay? And this is not excusing Tarte at all. This is just to say Tarte's complexion products have been trash. I didn't expect them to do anything more than what they did. Granted, they say they're coming out with 10 more shades. I believe that's going to break down to 5 more of the mattes, 5 more of the hydratings, and that might even be a breakdown of 2 and 3, 2 being 2 fair shades added, 3 being 3 deeper shades added. Okay, so while the outrage should be there, in all honesty, my motto when it comes to this kind of stuff, while I do try a lot of stuff, I buy a lot of stuff, you know, I love complexion products. If someone's not checking for me, I'm not checking for them, period. Okay, there are so many other brands, there are so many other black owned brands, if we want to get into that, that are producing foundations that, or complexion products that cater to those of us who are not your NW45s or whatever the, you know, reddish brown shade is of the moment. Okay, there's so many other brands. You have your mainstream brands like Makeup Forever, your Fenty Beauties, your Maybellines, your, I'm looking at my foundations, your Becca's, those kind of complexion products that do cover a wide range of undertones and skin colors. Okay, you have your black owned brands that speak to us black chicks, your AJ Crimsons, your Skinny Dip Cosmetics, your Imans, those kind of brands that have complexion products that are made for us fashion fair. I mean, we don't talk about fashion fair anymore, but fashion fair. And for my February, all during February, every makeup tutorial I'm doing will be using all black owned brands. Okay, so while the outrage should be there, they should be getting roasted, that kind of stuff, I always think to replace, right? What can I replace this with? Tarte isn't checking for me. What am I going to replace them with? You know, Tarte's not checking for me. Skinny Dip is. Tarte's not checking for me. AJ Crimson is. Tarte's not checking for me. Fashion Fair is. Okay? Granted, there's issues there. But all that I want to say is, you know who you're dealing with and know who's checking for you. And if they're not checking for you, you don't have to give them your money. No one is forcing you to buy Tarte. Okay? Okay, guys, so that's all I wanted to say about the whole Shape Tape foundation debacle that's going on right now in the beauty blogosphere. Stay tuned for my next videos. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit this subscribe button. And yeah, guys, I will talk to y'all later. Bye.